June 19th, 1865. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. 88 years after the Declaration of Independence, 2 years after Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, 2 months after Lee surrendered his forces at Appomattox Courthouse, the slaves, now freed persons, celebrated and cheered because it was their hopes and dreams and optimism. Indeed, on this day, for those former slaves, it was a second Emancipation Day. We celebrate Juneteenth, June 19th, because it is a day of hope and optimism. Our nation was formed out of hopes and dreams and the optimism of our founders. Those hopes and dreams were the same hopes and dreams that the African Americans who heard Granger's order wanted. They had the same dreams and optimism. And so for them and their descendants and all Americans, we should celebrate Juneteenth because it is that second Emancipation Day. But it is also a day in which America became closer to the dreams that Thomas Jefferson said, that all men were created equal, that they were endowed by their Creator with those inalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's what the people who heard Granger's order wanted. History is important because it just doesn't tell us about the people who are the generals or the commanders or the presidents, but history also tells us about average people, servants, indentured servants, enslaved people. All of those peoples are our people because we are still one nation. But to understand that, we have to understand the history behind it, the reasons that led to the Civil War, the reasons that led to that Emancipation Proclamation not freeing everyone, and in a sense, the reasons that led to those hopes and dreams of Juneteenth sometimes being dashed, the reasons why lynching happened, the reasons why you had Jim Crow, the reasons why we're still fighting racial strife today. If we knew that history and understood the reasons and the ramifications of it, we might be a little bit better in making decisions as a nation. I grew up in Virginia, and for my ancestors and parents, we didn't have a Emancipation Day, but we did celebrate that our ancestors were emancipated. And we passed those stories down. So I learned about my ancestors who were enslaved, and I carry those stories with me in the same way that people carry the stories in Texas and beyond about Juneteenth. And those stories mean so much to us because it is, in essence, who we are as people. It's about those dreams deferred, but the hopes and optimisms of all people. As I came to Texas, I learned the commonalities of those emancipation stories, of coming out of, in a sense, a wilderness into a new life. And as we merged those stories together, I found out that we were still really telling one story.